Welcome to another episode of Legends Live, presented by the National Basketball Retired Players Association, the official home of NBA and WNBA legends. Now, on today's episode, we have two WNBA legends for you all. We have two-time WNBA champion, two-time Olympic gold medalist for Team USA, and the current head coach of ODU's women's basketball program. And to speak with her today is our good friend, WNBA legend, and current LA Sparks director, Rushia Brown. So for all of our viewers out there, thank you for tuning in. And if you have a question, type your question in the comment box, and I'll go ahead and ask the question on air. But to get things started, please let's welcome Rushia Brown and DeLisha Milton-Jones.
Dee, how are you?
I'm good, Rushia. How are you?
I'm excellent. First, let me start off with saying congratulations on your latest position. Let's talk about ODU.
Thank you, and ditto. Right back to you. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. And typically I start at the beginning of your career, but since you've come in here moving into ODU, let's talk about what this new position, the excitement that it brings for you.
I am super excited, Rushia, to be able to embark on yet another opportunity to be a head coach and to pour into the young women that will be under my tutelage. I am just elated. I look forward to the opportunity. They are excited. They are winners. They are vying for a championship in our conference, in Conference USA. I want to come in and just be a great addition to the legacy that Nikki McCray, who was the former coach, that she has left behind.
And absolutely, Nikki McCray was there, and she's moved on. But they've got an incredible woman and coach coming in, not just a basketball player, but a woman, period. So I'm just really excited to see the things that you'll be able to do with this organization. And you just mentioned, talking about your players, how you'll be able to impact them. We can go back to your beginning now and just talk about what impacted you, what got you started in the game of basketball.
Wow. Let's see. What got me started? I think it was my cousin. Her name is Hattie, and she still lives about a mile down the road next to the house that I grew up in. And there was a basketball court back there. She was the one that introduced me to the game from officially, meaning with rules and regulations and understanding the foundation of the sports rather than just playing pickup. And she opened my mind up to it. I loved it from the very moment, and here I am today.
Awesome. About how old were you when you started, DeLisha?
I was probably between 10 and 12 years old. So I was a late bloomer.
Mm-hmm. But it's never too late, because clearly with the passion that you played on the court, you were able to pull that in and do incredible things. So if you started that at that age, 10 to 12, and you played consistently through junior high, high school?
Yes, I did. And the funny thing about my middle school or pre-middle school days was I was on the team, and the coach never would play me. And I was clearly one of the better players on the team. But sometimes politics can come in to some decisions that people choose to make. And me coming from a household where it was from a single parent home, and my mother was robbing Peter to pay Paul. Mm-hmm. So we knew what it was like to really not suffer, but we were challenged when it came to finances. We weren't able to do a lot. So the young lady that always got to play ahead of me, she was from a prominent family with a strong name in the community. So they played her all the time. And I would just sit at the end of the bench on the edge of my seat, looking at the coach like, "Coach, please put me in." And she would always just tap me on the leg or just shoo me off and say, "DeLisha, you got to wait your turn." And I'm just sitting there like, "Lady, do you want to win? Let's go." So eventually one day she put me in, and I went ham, Rushia. I think I probably scored about 15 to 20 points in 5 minutes. And wow. I don't know how many steals or whatever, but there was no way she could hold me back anymore. And my sister was at the high school, and her coach knew about me. So she understood my situation, and she would let me come and practice with the high school varsity team
Mm-hmm.
while I was in the seventh, eighth grade. So I was playing against grown women every single day, getting my butt whooped. And they were schooling me left and
It
right.
all paid
And
off.
it all paid off, Rushia. It all paid off.
And just even listening to your story as how you got started, you weren't being put in, but sitting on that bench probably taught you some things as to what you needed to do once you got on the court. Because we both know that you have a different perspective of the game when you're watching it from outside than when you are on the inside. So what type of mindset were you able to develop when you weren't playing?
Well, when I wasn't playing, I think the thing that I had an opportunity to witness and absorb was information that a coach was giving, and then seeing my teammates either do it or not do it, whether they understood it or whether they just wanted to do their own thing. So being able to from a based upon what I was experiencing was crucial for me at such a young age. And seeing, I saw it all. I saw determination and passion within me. And then I saw some kids that were just scared out of their mind to even want to enter into the game. They were happy with just being a cheerleader and being a part of a team. And their friends was doing it, so they were doing it. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, it would, the frequencies were just different. The vibe was different for me, where I connected with this sport and I understood it. And it was an intricate dance that I was willing to go out there and do my little two step within. And lo and behold, it all panned out in my favor.
And you eventually went on to have an incredible career. We talk about your high school, but then it comes time to go to college. And we know that whole recruiting process is one that's really difficult. And you spoke to how your family didn't have all of the financial, means that other people could have. So going to college and the decision that you made had to be a big choice for you.
It really was, and it was stressful. I was sick as a dog. I got an infection in my intestines from stress. From
Wow.
stress, the doctor told me this young lady is stressed out. She needs to rest. Like, you need to calm things down, because it was a lot. I mean, the phone rang from sun up to sundown, and my mom was like, "You got to handle it yourself. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not getting on the phone. I'm not talking to them. You have to talk to them." And I'm like, "Mom, like, you're supposed to be throwing me a bone right now. You just gonna leave me out the dry like that?" But I'm glad she did it, because I learned early on that this process was a business. While I love basketball and I love it for all of its innocence, it was a business for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I could differentiate between the business minded and those that were about relationship. And I chose the University of Florida because it felt good, and the people made me feel good, and they felt like family. And that's why I made the choice that I did. And it was a great decision, not just for me, but for my family, for our household.
And it's funny you say that because a lot of people just love this game. But when you get to a certain level, an athlete of your caliber, it does become a business because if a college is paying for your education, however
Yes.
many tens of thousands of dollars or even moving into the $100,000 realm, they want to get their money's worth. So
Yes,
making
they
the
do.
decision about where you go is huge because you're committing 4 years
Yes.
to a school. So what
Yes.
other
You're
schools
right,
do you look
Ruchia.
at? Mm-hmm.
Well, there, oh gosh, it was a lot of schools. And for me, um, I think Florida probably had a special place in my heart from the very beginning. Although there were people calling left and right, they were the ones that I always wanted to talk to, without a doubt. I don't care how many calls I might have been on that day. When I knew that one was coming through, something within me always just clicked. It was just good with my soul. Um, but there were coaches, Rusha, that put so much pressure on me. They're like, "DeLisha, if you don't come to such and such university, I'm gonna lose my job." Now, how can a grown woman tell a 16, 17-year old that if I don't come to their school, they're going to lose their job? And she did. But I mean, why would you put that pressure on an individual like that? It's not fair. Not fair at all.
At all. Like you said, a 16 to 17-year-old just embarking on the beginning of her collegiate career, having to make a decision just based on what feels right. Because we both know that you play in a situation, it doesn't matter who the school is, but you
Yeah.
play in a situation that's best for you. And each individual
No,
has to make that decision.
no
Very
doubt. No.
unfair. Wow. But you went on to Florida, and of course you killed it there. So just
Yeah.
the amount of transition that it took. Like you went from high school and playing really well, then you go to Florida, and it's one of the highly acclaimed, programs in the nation. Moving into that spotlight. Now you talked about pressure.
Yes.
What does that pressure look like?
That pressure, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it because naturally I'm someone that plays with a tremendous amount of passion and pride. And for me to understand the opportunity that I was entering into was one where I should continuously show gratitude. Although I was gifted with some abilities, I was so grateful for an opportunity where my mother didn't have to pay a dime for me to go to school, further my education, all because I could bounce a ball and put it in a hole, So my mindset was different. I went to college in hopes of being able to make my coach proud and to be there for her through thick and thin and never disappoint her. It never was, what could the University of Florida do for me? It was always, what could I do for the University of Florida?
Wow, and they got their money's worth, but you also gained a lot of experience and opportunity in having played for that organization. So when you got ready to transition into the pro ranks, what did that
Yes.
look like? Because now this is a whole nother decision, and it really is financial, because it's not just about your
Yes.
college degree; it's about you bringing home some money now. So how do you make that
Yes,
decision?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I tried to get the pockets fat, but when I was a senior, when I was a junior, there was no WNBA. I think the only thing that might have been in existence was the ABL, if I'm not mistaken. But
Came in the
when
same
I
year.
was
You played in the fall, and then the W started the following summer.
exactly,
Mhm.
so 97 was when I finished. So when I came out, I was blessed with the opportunity to choose between which professional league I wanted to take my talents to. And it was a financial decision for me because the WNBA, I believe the contract, they predicted me to be, one of the top picks in the league. So I was going to make, I don't know, X amount of dollars. And then $50,000 to be exact. And then here comes the ABL. And they're like, ma'am, you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I'm like, okay, let me do the math real quick. 50,000,
Real quick.
hundreds of
It didn't
thousands of
take much,
dollars.
did it?
Yeah, so I chose to go to the ABL, but it wasn't solely financial. It was definitely based off of that and about the talent that was in the league. Because you had the likes of Teresa Edwards, Katie Smith, Nikki McCray, Dawn Staley, um, oh gosh, Natalie Williams, Katie Stedding, from Stanford. Awesome, awesome names in the world of basketball, and they were vets at it. So I went to the Portland Power. I was drafted by them, and I was in love with that league. I really was. And when the league became defunct, because they ran out of money, probably because they were paying the players too much too soon.
I like
We
where they were
ended up
thinking,
getting.
though. I like where their head was.
Me too. Me too, Rushia. It was so cool because every player owned a percentage of the league.
Oh,
It
wow.
might have been a fraction of a percent, but everyone had part ownership in it. So everyone kind of went about it in a different way.
Mhm.
You know how it is when you have to
When it's
earn money
more.
yourself rather than someone giving it. Yes, yes, that. So it was everyone's baby. We took a lot of pride in it, but ended up folding, and the WNBA came along and they had a dispersal draft, and that dispersal draft had some talent in it. Me, Yolanda Griffith, Dawn Staley, and I
Yes.
can't remember the fourth person, but we were the four that were picked to go to different teams in the WNBA.
Wow. Now you transition to the league that, though it wasn't financially at the level of the ABL, but it was supported by the NBA. And
Yes.
I just remember it being TV wise. Like, was there a difference in the coverage?
Oh yes, big time. Because ABL, we were on BET, and maybe the cameras were like way up in the rafters, and you were looking down on the game. But the WNBA, there was all the fanfare behind it, the lights, the camera, the action, the production. Because it was affiliated with the NBA, so we got the best. It was the creme de la creme when it came to marketing and positioning our game in a way where, in the way it was supposed to be presented.
And so you leave Portland and end up in the draft.
Yes,
And you
yes. Left Portland, LA. It was between Dawn Staley and I who the Los Angeles Sparks were going to pick. And from my recollection, the decision came down to Lisa Leslie, and they wanted to know, who do you want to play with? Do you want a PG to get you the ball, or do you want a post where you can have a high-low action? And from what I was told, she said, I wanted a high-low action. I wanted a Robin to my Batman, so to speak. And
y'all were more
here
than
I
that.
am.
Lord have mercy. Incredible talent together.
Thank you. Yes. So we ended up playing together, and I just made that cut because the top four got 50 G's. And I was like, Lord, I need these 50 G's because our league just folded. I was in the mall shopping. My sister called me because it was close to Christmas time, and she was like, DeLisha, did you see the news? And I'm like, no, what's up? And I mean, I'm just buying up everything. And she was like, well, your league folded. And I said, girl, what? And she said, your league folded. And I said, I'm going to call you right back. Call my agent. It was true. I started returning all that stuff instantly back to the
So
school
pulling
because
out
mama going to
receipts.
need these coins.
I know. For sure. That is
Mama
crazy. And you just really
coins.
look at the instance in which you go from making this amount of money and then
Yes.
nothing.
Nothing.
And you don't even know.
Nothing.
So, but you move into the
Starting over.
WNBA. Yeah, it's like starting it over.
Yes.
And like you said, we had the fanfare in the W, not the finances. So I've always told people like the WNBA was the fanfare without the finances. Like you get the best of everything.
Yeah.
And you were in LA, so I can only imagine what the sidelines looked like. Because just in talking to like Vicky and some of the other players, like you go to New York and play in the Garden, you got Spike Lee, you got Penny Marshall, you got some of the players they're sitting and watching. But in LA, what type of fandom did you encounter?
Oh my gosh, Snoop was there, Snoop Doggy Dog. I was fangirl to the max when he was there. They would come in the back of the locker room. Denzel, you had Penny Marshall. She would frequent our games as well. Vivica Fox was always in attendance.
Still
And then anybody that
supporter.
Who?
Vivica, still an avid supporter.
That's right. She sure is. She is die hard. And then, of course, you would have a lot of NBA guys come through. Everyone, LA is the mecca when it comes to summertime basketball. All the pros come through. So they would come through and watch the games. And it was an atmosphere that was to die for.
That's incredible. And you went on to win 2 championships. And I suffered some of those elbows and some of those baskets in my face and just all that time. But there was no greater competitor. And the type of player that you were, it made everybody step their game up. So when you're in that space and you and Lisa Leslie playing together, what is your goal in trying to figure out how to get better every day, every game? Your mindset.
Well, Lisa definitely took me under her wing. And this was well back in 90. I think she was training for the 96 Olympics, and I started coming on the scene then with USA Basketball. And so she took it upon herself to kind of take me under her wing. And that process continued on within the WNBA. And she really helped me understand the pro mindset. And then when you add her along with the role that my husband, Roland Jones, played in my life, he was a pro as well. And he ran with pros, Kurt Thomas, longtime NBA player. That was his really good friend back then. So he was just pouring into me. Lisa was pouring into me all this valuable information. in terms of mindset and how you need to work and what you need to do and how you need to do it, who you need to surround yourself with. And I have to say, my husband took my career to another stratosphere when it came to understanding how to be a pro.
And that's something that a lot of people underestimate and overlook because you can have the athletic ability, but if you don't have the
Yes.
mindset of success and understanding those little things like how to work, how to be a pro, but also who
Mhm.
to surround yourself with, and just knowing
No
that you
doubt.
have to be around other people that are doing what you want to be doing, and even better, to challenge you to move to
That's
that
it, Rushia.
level for
That's it.
sure.
That's it. Like you will never be able to reach full capacity in terms of your potential if you cap out with your knowledge and your understanding. You have to go around people that can broaden your perspective and enlighten you and empower you at the same time. And that's the position that my husband would put me in on a daily basis, just with the influence of the affluential crowd that he would hang with. I was able to be in on conversations that I probably shouldn't have been in on, and just able to pick people's brain and just listen to them talk amongst themselves. Invaluable experience.
It makes all the difference in the world. And just professionally, but you also spoke about your Olympic experience and the time that you spent with Team USA. Now, that's a totally different group of talent. You know, like you were always one of the top tier players on whatever team you played in. But when you go to play for Team USA, that is the creme de la creme, like the best in the world, not just in the
Yeah.
US, in the world,
Yes.
because of the records. What type of energy and attitude and just confidence do you get to build by playing by women of that caliber?
Rushia, USA basketball means so much to me. I had the opportunity to suit up with some of the world's most dominant women's basketball players from high school, collegiate, and the professional level. They dominated on all those circuits. Being able to call them friend and teammate means everything to me. The ability for us to come in and put our egos to the side and say we are uniting off of this one goal, it says a lot about them and their character and who they are as individuals. It was never about me, my numbers, or what I can do and how I need to do it. It was about one team, one country, one goal. Anything less than a gold medal was a failure. That's a lot of pressure, but we were suited for it and we accepted it with open arms.
And you got an opportunity to pursue that twice, right?
Yes.
And stand on
Actually,
that
three times.
three
Three
times.
times. Yes, three
Wow,
times.
okay.
In 2004, I should have an asterisk by my name with that team because I tore my ACL not too long before the competition, and I believe Ruth Riley, she ended up
I
replacing me. So
remember.
she's walking around with my gold medal somewhere. Ruth, it's time to return that.
Ruth, DeLisha says she wants her medal back. So,
Can I borrow it, Ruth?
at least for a picture, a photo op, right? No, that's so
Something.
incredible.
Like,
But it real and like you mentioned, it really is about the gathering of a certain level of talent. And you guys were able to mesh. And you look around all the time and you see teams and they talk about, oh, how players can't get along. It comes to what you said, being able to drop your ego and understand the greater good and what it's all about, just trying to win, to be the best. And
yes.
you can't have
Yes.
enough with that.
You really can't. And I think that USA basketball helped me too because a lot of players only experienced me as the opponent. And you described me, very well. Like
D
I was
Nasty,
competitive and full of
absolutely.
passion. I was coming to win. I wanted to beat you mentally, physically, and emotionally. And I took no prisoners. So I probably didn't make a lot of friends, but being on the USA teams, they were able to see me in a different light, and they saw the sunshine personality within me, and they were able to appreciate my artistry on a different level, understanding that my background is what made me have the fight and the grit, and then my respect for the game and my opponent allowed me to compete at my best because I respected who they were and what and their talent. So I wanted to be just as good or supersede it if I could. But I think USA basketball helped me make some friends in this game because I know I was a feisty competitor.
A competitor. We'll just leave it at competitor. And like I mentioned, you made everybody that played against you want to raise their game to the next level because you knew what you were getting once you stepped on the court and playing against. So it made all the sense in the world.
Rushia, you
Okay.
saying it like I was a menace.
You said that. All I said was you knew what you were getting when we stepped on the court against you because you brought it every night. And just to think
Yeah.
about all the qualities that you have developed over the years, playing at the highest level, and now transitioning into being a collegiate coach, being able to be a mentor and to guide these young women. Imagine playing for one of the most highly decorated women in the game and that level of competition. How do you feel like your impact
I
affords?
think that my I think that my impact that I could have on the women that I'm coaching now, the young women I'm coaching now, is one where I can have a field day. I really could. And if they would come into the situation as a dry sponge, there's a lot for them to be able to soak up. And I also think that they are lucky in a sense because I'm not guarded. I'm not a closed book. I'm not a mystery. I love being transparent and I see every experience that I've had on my journeys around the world and back again. It wasn't just for me. It's for me to share that with the ones that are coming behind me so I can pour into them and maybe they can share in my experiences or have some that are even more glamorous than what I have experienced. And I take that as a serious job. I really do because I want the game to continue to get better and to continue to have a long lasting tenure. And if I go about it that way, I think I'm doing my part.
And you just brought up something that's been consistent with the women that I've had a chance to interview, like Tisha Pinachero, Vicki Johnson, and just talking about how we all want to give back to the league and make sure that it continues. And we all get a chance to do it in different ways. And with you, you're imparting such knowledge and level of competition and encouragement for the young ladies in the collegiate level. Like all of that stuff really matters because that's where the next generation of WNBA players will come from. And
No
they're
doubt.
a chance to learn from the best and that competition. But being a college coach is difficult because now you've got to mold these young women both on and off the court.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationships that you build with them are very important. And like in a
Yep.
situation like right now, recruiting in the midst of COVID-19, what
Yes.
type of adjustments have you had to make? Because you can't just show up at somebody's house and say, okay, here I am. Mama's gonna be peeping out the door like, no ma'am, you got to stay on the porch. So what
Yeah.
does it look like now?
Well, everything is virtual right now. But I still think that even though this virtual world that we're all living within, you still can feel and experience someone's realness. And I think that it's important for me while I'm recruiting to display exactly who I am. Don't be guarded. Don't try to sit up here and be like, professional and have every hair in place and girl, I might use the wrong word. I might stutter, I might giggle, I'm goofy. I want them to see every aspect of me and have an experience with me so that when they leave that conversation, they feel like they know me. I don't want them to just know a bunch of information about Old Dominion University. I want them to know who is this lady that has had this spectacular career that is going to have the opportunity, hopefully, to impact my daughter. Who is she? And if they can leave the conversation knowing me and feeling comfortable about that and looking forward to the next time we talk, then I've accomplished my job.
Very good. That's a word too. Erica Mitchell, we thank you for that question. But one of the things we had a comment down here. Ruthie Bolton said you are a true gold medalist.
Ruthie!
No, Ruthie just celebrated a birthday. Happy belated birthday, Ruthie Bolton.
Yes, happy birthday, Ruthie, mighty Ruthie.
Mighty Ruthie, mighty Ruthie. We got to get you on here too, Ruthie, so we'll have that conversation. But it's just really, and when you talked about the transparency and the vulnerability and people getting to know you as DeLisha Milton-Jones and not just as the Olympic medalist and not just as the coach or the WNBA player that won, because all those qualities that got you to Florida are the things that you have to show these young ladies to bring them to ODU now. So when you are in a room and you may have a player, let's say you moved in, and these are players that Nikki, had brought in. How do you build your own relationship with these players now?
Well, it's that. It's just taking that quality time and getting to know each of them for who they are. I don't want them to come in thinking I have preconceived notions based off of conversations that I may have had with their former coach because we have a friendship and a sisterhood with one another. I want them to know that you have a clean slate. Every one of you, each one of you will present yourselves as an open book with pages that are blank. Who you want me to experience you as, you have an opportunity to do that right now. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's something that is going to take some time. I want this thing to be like fine wine, that had its maturation process, and it sat there, and we stewed over it, and it's like this good marinara sauce that's just been cooking on the stove all day long. I want our relationships to have a quality about it like that, where I know that if I understand the person, then coaching the player will be nothing. It will be easy. It really would. And so virtual conversations, be it FaceTime, be it Zoom, be it text, being available is the thing that will help us bridge that gap in building our relationships with one another.
And when you got a coach that's referring their recruiting process to making some food, all good. Because it is. It's just such. We got one of your players, and we see you, coach. Young Dirk.
Hey, who was? Oh, okay, Maggie, come through, big girl. Yes,
So awesome. And
that's
just
so
that level
sweet.
of support, because we've all played for different coaches that had different styles and techniques. But the ones that you have that relationship with are the ones that you will run through a wall for, because you know they have your best interests at heart. And just having this
That's
conversation
it.
with you, I know how you played and I know how you coach as well. So the level of, I think I heard Dawn, this might have been 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago, Dawn Staley made a comment about how you coach your players hard, but you applaud them just as hard. Like you
That's
hold
right.
them accountable, that level of accountability. So how do you, because you're very intense, so how do you interact with your players on that level?
Well, I'm real. I'm real. I'm myself. They're going to see me trip up. They're going to see me slip up and make mistakes. I need for them to see me as human and not this individual that has it all together and is perfect. No, I want to be a great example for you. But I think the best example I can set for you is you seeing me in my moments of defeat or blunders and how I respond to those things. I want you to understand that I'm not on some pedestal, that I'm looking down at you, telling you, hey, you need to turn right, you need to turn left. Oh, it's gonna be a boulder in your way, so you gotta figure out how you're gonna get over that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that type of coach. I meet them where they are. I come down with them. I'm in the thick of things. I'm in the thicket of it, and we're getting scratched up together. We're grinding together. We're hungry together. We're thirsty together. We're gonna go through it all together. So when you have someone that can lock arms with you, stand beside you, stand behind you and push you, or stand in front of you and lead you, there's a different experience there. And that's what I want to be able to impart upon the young women that I have an opportunity to lead at ODU.
And that's really incredible what you just said. At different times, it's going to take a different approach. Like you said, some days you're going to have to work together, and some days you're going to have to get behind them and push them because they don't know how to get to that next level. And some days you got to stand in front of them and pull them. So just a
That's
mindset
it.
you have. Girl, you make me feel like I want to coach, but I don't. But
Look,
I love
Rushia,
that
you got it.
mindset. I
You
love the
got it.
mindset because being able to impact these young women, it really does preserve our game. We got a nice
Yes.
message here from Keith Claus saying you ladies are amazing. And just
What's
another
up, Keith?
Just
I
the
know
nuggets
Keith.
that you are sharing. Oh, that's one of your friends? Somebody you know?
Yeah, he's in LA as well. He played in the NBA. He had a stint, so he did big things in his time on the court as well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, and it's so exciting because now you have a level of support from the people that have been around you from your playing careers through your experiences at different colleges and universities. And now you get here to ODU and your pursuit is championship, right? So what does that
That's
look like?
right.
Conference and
It
then
it looks promising. It really does. And I have to give credit to Nikki McCray Penson once again with the job that she has done. She is to be applauded because she did a tremendous amount of work in a short period of time. But it's only fitting for someone of her caliber and the successes that she's had as a professional to go in and turn a program around like that. And I look to follow suit. She has left me with a cupboard full of ingredients to pick from
she
and be
cooking
a
again.
master
She's
chef.
cooking again.
Cooking. It's the foodie in me. I'm a foodie, but she left me full a full cabinet and cupboard full of ingredients, and the players are also just as hungry and just as eager. They have tasted success, but they want more. I have tasted success. I want more. I've tasted it as a coach. I've tasted it as a player. I want it to be sweet like nectar on their tongues. And it's something that we all are equally excited to pursue as we go through. But I wanted to tell you this too, Rushia. I think you can attest to this. Having played so many roles as a player, you've been um, a starter. You've come from the bench. You've played no minutes. You've played a lot of minutes. I think being able to wear all those different hats, it allows me to relate to my players on a different level because I'm going to understand how they're feeling and what they're thinking. So now I can kind of thwart any type of roadblocks or emotional issues that might come about in play, outside of play, or just in life in general. So those are added features within me that are prepackaged that I can call on and pull from to help my players through anything.
And so that's one of the things when you were telling your story of your introduction to the game and how your coach wasn't playing you. You knew you had the talent, but she wasn't giving you the opportunity. That allows you to be able to talk to your girls differently because you've been there. And so many times
Yeah,
players think, oh, she doesn't understand, but you understand. And you can share that story. And so that makes you like that vulnerability and, like you mentioned, transparency is one of the things that makes you the type of coach that players will be able to relate to even readily.
that's right. That's right. I'm not telling them what I think. I'm telling them what I know.
Amen. That's the word. Not what I think, but what I know. And you've
What
walked
I
that
know.
walk and experienced it. So you have done so many
Yes.
incredible things. I'm so excited about the impact that you will continue to have on our game. As I mentioned, the collegiate level is right before that WNBA, and I'm sure when the players see you and all you've been able to accomplish, they know you figured out a blueprint. And if they
Yeah.
follow that, they could potentially have an opportunity to do incredible things. So I definitely want to wish you the best and thank you so much for taking your time out. And I know we were talking a little bit earlier about you haven't even transitioned yet. Like you haven't even
No.
been able to move to Virginia. So what does that look for you now? What's your schedule like the next couple of weeks?
Next couple of weeks, I'm going to be transitioning from Syracuse back to Cali, back to, and then finally to Virginia. It's going to be a lot of moving and shaking, but I had to get to a point where things calmed down a lot. And I got my bearings in terms of family being safe and taken care of. Now I can make some move. I can move and shake and turn some corners and get some things done as I prepare for the season and hopefully the government lifting certain stay at home orders that are in place and we're able to do a lot more campus wide.
Well, that's good. We've got a number of comments rolling through on Facebook. Tamika Dixon just gave you a bunch of hands. She's saying hello. Um,
Hey.
D Brown is waving. We got Nakia Sanford. She said all the best, D Milk. And so, and it's
Oh
funny,
man.
this the sisterhood, like we've been able to have conversations, but the people that are watching are women that have played with and against you. And that's one of the things that I share with people all the time. Like, we are like the 2%, like not everybody gets to this place, and it is a sisterhood. And somebody asked me, how do you get them to come on? I was like, I just call them. And
Yeah.
who's gonna
Literally.
let me see who I'm gonna call next.
That-
But it really is about just celebrating you and giving you your flowers while you're here, just saying thank you for your contribution to the game and all that you've done, and how you've made us all raise our level of competition based on who you were and who you continue to be. So we thank you again.
Oh, Rusha, I have to tip my hat to you as well, because you have done tremendous things for this league. You were a formidable foe. You were just as competitive and just as highly skilled. You may not have played as long as I did, but you left your mark. And the beauty about you is that you're leaving your mark in a different way now. You're behind a microphone, you're in the community, you're growing the game, person by person, and you're giving them an experience of the WNBA from a different perspective. And I appreciate you for doing what you do and giving us a platform to be able to come back and chop it up and have great conversation.
Awesome. I appreciate you, DeLisha. But we all gonna stay in our own lanes, and we all do it, and we'll make sure this league survives. But before I
That's
let you go, we're gonna play
Yeah.
rapid fire. So I have about
Oh my
7
goodness.
questions. So you gotta give me your answers right off the top of your head. Okay? So we're gonna do this
It's gonna
lightning
be all
round.
my answers are gonna be food, so I don't know.
But none of these questions are about food. So you
Okay,
guys know some basketball questions. Let's see. Number one, what was your most memorable win?
My first Olympic medal.
Your first Olympic medal. That's awesome. So,
Yeah.
what is the one loss that still gets you?
That one loss that still gets me is against Detroit. Oh my gosh, against the Detroit Shock, and yeah, they got us. They got us in that series. I'm still mad about it.
Is that the year they won the championship?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we won't stay there. We won't stay there. So, who was your favorite teammate?
My favorite teammate. Wow, Mika Dixon was one of my favorite teammates for sure. We were babies together in LA. We did everything together.
And she's doing a great job. I had a chance to speak with her. My family's maiden name is Dixon. So my mom was like, ask her where her family's from. That might be your cousin. So we were chatting just the other day.
Yo.
She's doing well.
Oh.
That's so. Oh, I interrupted the
She has
lightning round. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
Who was your biggest rival?
Wow, my biggest rival. I really enjoyed playing against these two players, Diana Taurasi and Lauren Jackson. We would
Yeah.
get it in. Technical fouls and all. We would get it in. Yeah.
Yes. I remember those days. Absolutely. And watching that. Okay. Who was the biggest trash talker?
Diana. Diana Taurasi, yes.
Easy. Okay, what was your favorite city to play in and your least favorite?
Oh man, my favorite city would probably be Houston, when Houston was still in the league. My least favorite, I think, would be Utah, when Utah was in the league.
That was a tough one. The
That
only
was
time it was
really
fun to
tough.
go to Utah was when they had the summer. Remember the NBA would have their summer leagues, and they
That's
used to be in
right.
Utah. That was the only time it was okay.
That's right.
Boom. Okay, so what are your go-to sneakers?
My go-to sneakers would be some Air Max.
Air Max. And what was your favorite basketball movie?
Loving basketball, honey. Come on.
Oh,
I got me a little cameo in there.
I know that's right. I saw it when she came to LA to play. So that was
Yes.
an awesome movie. That's one of my top movies too. It just really tells the story of a woman playing the game internationally as well as here in the league, and getting the opportunity to be balanced and have life on both sides, like yourself. So she had her man sitting there, and she was being able to be successful, and he supported her, and you spoke highly of Roland and the impact that he's had in your life and making sure that you were successful. And that's very necessary.
No doubt. Yes, he was in the gym shooting with me. He was in the gym.
Right? He was in the gym shooting with me. So that really makes a difference. And I'm happy that you had that opportunity. And Dee, thank you so much for coming and sharing this time with us. I can't tell you enough how appreciative I am. And hopefully the viewers and the listeners took some of the nuggets that you shared. And we'll look forward to following you at ODU and seeing how far you guys can go in this race.
Rushia, it was my pleasure, and I look forward to doing this again.
Absolutely. I will give you a call and help support.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thanks, DeLisha. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Wow, so incredible to have a chance to have DeLisha Milton on with just all of her experience and all that she's been able to do and just the impact she's leading to now with the lives of these collegiate athletes. The game just continues to get better, and the more that each woman that has played this game lends her education, lends her knowledge, the better off we'll be. So thank you guys for logging in. Rushia Brown, signing off.
Coming up next on Legends Live, this Thursday, Karan Butler is back, and he is going to be talking to fellow NBA alumni board member Sam Perkins. So be sure to tune in to this conversation on Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. If you would like to catch any of the previously recorded episodes, including today's conversation between DeLisha and Rushia, an amazing conversation that it was, please go to legendsofbasketball.com/legendslive. And until Thursday, thank you all for watching. Take care and be well.